Joining me now from Washington, D.C., Air Force veteran, Purple Heart recipient, and the man behind the GoFundMe account to build the wall, Brian Kolfage. Brian, let's go right to the tally board, shall we? And look at your GoFundMe account. It's right around $19 million. If folks are keeping score at home, if we can get that tally board up there for folks to see. $19 million, approaching that number anyways, but that's about 0.02% of your goal of $1 billion. Now, a lot of people have talked to me about this over the months and, in fact, years, about using private funds to build a wall. And I say to them, that's a nice idea, but we have a GoFundMe account. It's called the United States Treasury, and that's the money we should be using. What do you say to that?
Well, I think that's, they have a right to think that, and that's how normally it should work, but the issue is the government and our politicians aren't representing the people, and that's why the people are coming to me to speak with their money and speak with their wallets, and they're donating because they're sick of the inaction from these politicians. It's been going on for decades. We've been promised immigration, we've been promised a wall, a fence, whatever it may be, we've been promised it and we're not getting it. And so that's why we're taking action, and the people are rising up and they're pissed off.
They are. 315,000 have donated to reach this more or less $19 million figure. What are some of the folks saying as they donate? There is a lot of frustration out there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming from the left and the right. I get messages from Democrats who support this wall fully, but you won't hear Nancy or Chuck saying that ever, and they don't represent the people. They don't represent what we want. The majority of the nation, I believe, wants this border wall, and it's time that they listen to us and they start representing the people.
Now, there's a congressman from Ohio who is trying to help out your effort, and that is using these private funds to build the wall. This is Congressman Warren Davidson, and he's proffering the Buy a Brick, Build the Wall Act, which is really pathetic if you think about it, that we have to do this. This is what he's saying on Twitter, is newly introduced H.R. 32. It directs U.S. Treasury to establish a fund allowing private contributions to fund and maintain border walls. Millions of Americans agree and want to chip in to help secure our borders. It's really a sad sign of the times that our country has come to this state where it's going to take private donations to do something that is the fundamental job of the United States government. And but there's a lot more, I think, to than just funding this wall, and I think you would agree, and that is you have to procure land along the border. You have to buy it from private citizens. And also, Brian, we have to worry about the salamanders, of course, because there's going to be all kinds of lawsuits, we know, especially from the crazies in California.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, we have a plan in place already, and we're going to roll it out next week. We've done everything that could be done to get this wall built, and you guys will find that out. We've white-papered it. We have everything. We have a huge backing on this. And when we come out with our plan next week, people are going to see that they're going to start taking us seriously. And that 18 million, 19 million is just going to explode. The water faucet's going to turn on. If America and these politicians are shocked over this 18 million, just wait till next week when we roll out this plan of what's really going to be happening with this wall. All
right, well, make some time for us then next week, because I want to hear your plan. And you are a Purple Heart recipient, a veteran of the Iraq War. You gave 3 limbs for your country. Does it sometimes amaze you that the American people, in the end, it's up to us. It's up to we the people. Does it amaze you sometimes that the American people is allowing Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and company to get away with is tantamount to me as dereliction of duty when you did your duty overseas?
Yeah, it is a dereliction of duty. It's just we have so many people. I mean, almost 1 million Americans have died in our time fighting for freedom one way or another, from the Civil War all the way through now. These freedoms can be easily stripped away, and they're not taking it serious. They're not taking our security serious. They're not taking anything serious, and it's all about agenda. The people need to come together and get this taken care of, whether it's for the wall or immigration. Both sides want immigration one way or another, and politicians need to come together to unite Americans. And they're not trying to unite us. They're trying to divide us because they don't want us to be united, because that's how they gain. They gain when we lose. And it's time for Americans from both sides and both sides of the political spectrum to come together. You know, if Trump wants this wall, give him the wall. If Democrats want their, DACA and their dreamer status and all this other stuff, let's meet in the middle and let's come together on this. That's what America's about. These politicians are supposed to be representing us, and they're not representing us.
Speaking of President Trump, have you heard from the White House on this? I'm sure that the White House, in fact, I have heard through our troops at One America News Network, that they are aware of you and are aware of what you're trying to do. Has the White House reached out to you, and are they getting engaged in any way, shape, or form?
They have reached out indirectly. We haven't spoke with them directly. We have spoken to some of their staff, but nothing direct, nothing substantial.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.